Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a very, very wonderful, blessed, and great weekend as well, guys. And I all hope you enjoyed yourself as well, especially on TikTok shorts and as well on long videos, which I was able to upload last week's Friday's episode on the YouTube channel, which was able to upload the last week's Friday's episode on the YouTube channel today this morning as well. But despite that, guys, I will hope you have a wonderful, blessed weekend and a very, very great day indeed, guys. Guys, I'm so superly thankful and grateful for your support in watching and in viewing my episodes from shorts and from long videos in YouTube and from TikTok as well. Please also do me one thing as well, guys. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. It'll gratefully mean a lot to me as well. But nevertheless, guys, I'm so superly grateful for you guys in watching and in viewing my episodes from shorts, long videos, and from TikTok as well. Keep doing so as well. And may God bless you and protect you all in whatever it is that you guys are doing as well. And may you all stay strong and stay positive and do whatever it takes to pursue your dreams, and also do whatever it takes to pursue your dreams and do what also makes you happy as well. May God also stay with you and be with you always. On today's episode, I'm here to talk about Lord Braggley, who is also known as the new Lord of Magic, and also as a member of a secret ancient society of supervillains known as the Order of Death, that's quietly actually being formed and reassembled by also another new Lord of Magic known as Lord Clay, who's a founder and the leader of the organization and of the ancient secret society as well. Lord Braggley is currently also a protege to the new Lord of Magic known as Lord Jet, who is a new Lord of Magic, which I previously actually taught you about, guys. You will find him on the YouTube. You'll find his episode on the long videos in YouTube and also in shorts as well. If you are trying to know about Lord Jet, who's a new Lord of Magic, you'll find his episode and the rest of his history throughout the other long videos in YouTube, just for you guys to know that. But nevertheless, Lord Braggley is actually a descendant of the Shadow Clan, and also one of the brothers of the Shadow Clan as well, who is also quietly related to Lord Clay, Shadowhand to Lord Clay, Shadowhand 6, and Lord Cole, and Lord Cole, Shadowhand, Clay, and 6, Lord Cole, and Shadowhand, and 6, and Clay as well, and also to the other two mysterious brothers that I previously exactly mentioned as well. Despite that, Braggley is very, very loyal to his brothers of the Shadow Clan, and he's very, very protective of them, and he's superiorly loyal to Clay, and he cares so deeply about him, and he believes in his goals and in the goals of the original Lord of Magic, and in the goals of the new Lord of Magic, and in the goals of Lord Clay as well. So he kind of is very much quietly, fanatically a true believer to their goals and to their long-term plan, and he acts as a member, as a subordinate, as a follower, and as a protege. Very wise, very caring, very compassionate, also driven to also want to possess more power and more dark abilities and energy, but he doesn't allow that to consume him. He doesn't actually allow that to actually consume him. Nevertheless, he believes in the goals of the organization and of the original new Lord of Magics, and also of his apprentices and his successors. And he believes that the Shadow Clan also was successfully worthy to become the strongest and most formidable clan throughout sacred history, in order to alter sacred history's fate and wars and battle in the long term of its goals, and in the long term of its goals and glorious conquest of conquering other sacred nations, clans, and worlds and planets in the process, so that it can remain the dominant and powerful clan throughout sacred history's wars and battles and conflicts that ever rained down and continued for millennia and during out the following centuries as well. So let's exactly begin. In Lord Braggley's early life, he was very a founding member of the Shadow Clan, and also one of the great brothers of the one of the great six brothers, one of the great six brothers of the Shadow Clan. Very skillful in his dark magic abilities and in conjuring up dark magical illusions and powers, and projecting psychic powers and waves and controlling dark magic and blue magic at will, and also water magic and dark energy magic at will. To this point, Bradley exactly studied the ancient texts and the ancient texts and the ancient history of the King of Darkness, who was also known to be rumored by to be a legend and also a great mythical ancient being and a creature who was willing who had a glorious who had a glorious goal, who had a glorious goal of enlightenment in order to plunge the sacred magical forest into eternal darkness so that he can exactly rule it and conquer it in order to create an army of monsters, in order to create an army of shadow monsters and creatures and beings he can exactly use to conquer the entire sacred magic universe so that he can remain the sole ruler of the entire sacred magic universe and that he can exactly rule it all by himself. Despite that, Bradley exactly became to realize that the King of Darkness was actually secretly in secret collusion in a secret conspiracy with the Fallen and with the original Lord of Magic and with Valak Hellfire and with Zacchaeus Darkest as well, and with the members of the Order of the Five, and with the Dark Sisters and the Shadow Witches, and with the Shadow Witches and the Shadow Sisters and the Black Sisters as well. Despite these ancient forces of evil being born in different eras and in different times and in different ancient times, and some of them being born in many, some of them being born in many centuries ago, despite this, Bradley was able to realize that these ancient forces of evil actually knew one another, and they actually knew one another, and they actually truly knew one another, and they were all secretly in collusion with one another, able to send messages to their followers, able to send secretive texts and messages throughout their followers throughout sacred history, so that their plans could successfully bear fruit. Now, Bradley was able to realize how their goals and their long-term plans were able to successfully bear fruit during at the time. Meaning in other words, it makes perfect sense to him that the original Lord of Magic and the Fallen were quietly in secret collusion with one another before one of them were able to successfully rise in power or ascend in power, meaning that their goals were fully perfectly aligned, meaning that their goals were fully perfectly in alignment with one another because they share the same cosmic ambition and the same long-term plan and goal as well. Despite this, Bradley decided to keep this conspiracy to himself in order to make sure that no one knows about it, especially his closest, darkest followers as well, who can never know about it as well. During at the era when the Shadow Clan was about to be wiped out by the original Lola Magic's dark and powerful magic users known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, who all came together and created nothing but a powerful dark magical flood of water who decided to exterminate the entire existence of the Shadow Clan by wiping them out, all of them completely. Despite this, the survivors of the Shadow Clan survived, and some of them were able to remain in full secrecy, able to keep the existence in full secrecy of the shadows, and decided to operate from the shadows of the sacred world and from the rest of the sacred universe in order to keep the existence truly as secretive as well. They all exactly reconvene on ancient powerful dark crystal cave, where Bradley exactly told the descendants of the Shadow Clan that they still have to gather all the other descendants who survived from being exterminated to make sure that the extermination of the Shadow Clan did exactly take place, and that it actually will appear throughout sacred history that the Shadow Clan has been wiped out, but not the direct descendants and the rest of the survivors who've been actively alive as well. The descendants completely agreed that they were able to pass a message to the followers and to the rest of the other survivors who survived their extermination of the Shadow Clan to make sure that they fully operate in full secrecy and that they remain in full secrecy as well, and also operate within the shadows of the sacred world, which they all perfectly agree on that as well. On the following years, Bradley exactly entered the sacred magic dimension in order to know more about the powers and gifts of dark magic and light magic abilities and secrets of trying to connect his powers and abilities, where he was able to project a dark blue magical orb of power at will, and Bradley discovered that he's very highly gifted in dark magic and in light magic and in blue magic as well, which gave him the ability to create an astral projection of himself and the ability to create powerful dark illusions of himself as well. During at that time and during at that year, Bradley exactly decided to infuse himself with shadow energy, which granted him the power and the ability to become incredibly handsome and more very, very beautiful and more very, very beautiful and more very beautiful, and also granted him the greatest ability of all abilities to becoming extremely very immortal and extremely very, very powerful as well. During at that time, Clay exactly approached Bradley, telling him that his ancient organization has been reformed and that everything else has been successfully been put in place the way it's supposed to be. And also Bradley told him that he'll also remain as the original member of the Order of Death no matter what, and that he shows his loyalty and allegiance to Clay regardless, no matter what exactly what happens. And Clay was very, very pleased and very gratefully satisfied, happy with Bradley's committed and devotion and loyalty to him as the brothers shook hands to one another on the ancient, secretive, dark, magical hall of magic to themselves as well. On that same day, Bradley exactly showed Clay everything else that the dark magical orbs of magic were actually showing him, and he decided in order for Clay to exactly absorb the power and extract the power. Clay exactly told Bradley that he doesn't exactly want to extract more power or more dark abilities or anything else when he already has all the powers and all the abilities has been granted to him and have really been quietly been put to much more use to him. That it's time for them to actually continue out their long-term plan and their goals as well in order to make sure that everything else gratefully takes place for the plans that are about to be initiated as well on the day. Bradley completely agreed with Clay that they should exactly proceed on with that assignment as well. On that, after that year, within the middle years, the most powerful dark magic users known as the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful exactly took Bradley and Clay in and exactly showed them to the central headquarters of the Dark Crystal Temple, where the new Lord of Magic was currently exactly awaiting for them, known as Lord Jet. Jet was quietly presented with the newest protege, Clay and Bradley. Jet was very quietly fond of Bradley and very fond of his loyalty and devotion to his organization and to his society, as Jet exactly told Bradley that his true duty and purpose is for him to remain loyal to Clay and to remain by his side, and that he'll decide and pick which one of them are worthy to take his rightful place if he no longer exists on the mortal plane and on the sacred universe or the sacred world when his time is completely over. Bradley completely agreed with Jet that he'll do exactly as he's asked to do and that he'll fulfill his plans and his destiny and his true purpose no matter what, regardless of the outcome and regardless of the challenges. He shall pass and he shall bear fruit to his destiny and to his goals. Jet was very completely fond of Bradley's loyalty and devotion and his well-behaved manner and his humility, and seeing his compassion and his humanity as well being bestowed to Clay, realizing that the two brothers are definitely related. Jet decided in order to keep them close to one another, in order for them to remain connected to one another, regardless of them being descendants of the Shadow Clan, he realized that the two of them could be more powerful and could be more deadly, despite of him actually recruiting other powerful, sinister, dark, magical proteges who could also take his rightful place in becoming the next new Lord of Magic when the time comes as well. And Bradley was very completely proud and very successfully happy. On that same day, the dark magic users provided Bradley with all the dark magical archives and books and everything else he could actually need to further his research and his studies and everything else about the ancient secretive galactic wars and conflicts and battles that took many centuries ago, that happened many centuries ago, and also during in ancient times. And Bradley decided it's best that he studies the sacred histories and wars and battles very quietly up close, as he realized that there's a sinister conspiracy that exactly took place within those wars and within those battles, and a very powerful sinister manipulation was quietly orchestrated within those sacred battles and conflicts and wars that exactly happened many centuries ago and many years ago. As he decided to study and to know more exactly who is this mysterious force of evil that's playing behind the scenes, that's orchestrating all these events and everything else that completely happened to take place as well, as he decided to do that. On the 25th of January, when the death of the original Lord of Magic felt under the demise of the prophesied child known as the new Universal Man, as Grayson Ferris Unity, who is a son of the previous Universal Man and Universal Woman, who is known to be as the prophesied child, who is destined to put an end to the original Lord of Magic, which created a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire itself on the 1st of February as well, where every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander secretly show their allegiance and their loyalty, to themselves, while the others decided to supply the ancient secret society groups of supervillains with more destructive and compatible technology. In return, these ancient secret society groups of supervillains will actually supply them with more worlds and with more planets that are under their sole control as well. On the 10th of February, Bradley met up with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on his central headquarters, when the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders exactly decided to show their allegiance and their loyalty to Lord Bradley and everything else, telling them that they pledged their loyalty and their allegiance to the new Lord of Magic, and that they exactly want Bradley to never underestimate the Universal Heroes, as they've proven to become more powerful and more destructive, especially their abilities in thwarting the operation and the successful plans as well. Bradley completely agreed with the Shadow Empire warlords that instead he learned something from these new heroes and from the leader who's actually leading them and who brought the demise of the original master and lord, exactly, knowing that he is the prophesied child who was quietly mentioned into the Fates prophecy, that he was the one destined to put an end to the original Lord of Magic, that he's very quietly intriguing and very, very quietly interesting. The Shadow Empire warlord, one of the other Shadow Empire warlords, stood up and told Bradley to not ever take him lightly or ever underestimate his superior ability. He's too powerful and too dangerous, along with the rest of his teammates known as the Universal Heroes. He can never be taken lightly or never again be underestimated, despite in him trying to take him down. Bradley exactly agreed with the Shadow Empire warlord that instead of trying to take him down, he'll actually try to understand him precisely and learn more about him, and also study him up close, him and his team of superheroes, which he quietly grew very fond of. Bradley always gets very quietly fond of the enemy and of the obstacle that works closer together with its other teammates and other superheroes that are quietly able to realize that the Universal Heroes, them working together personally, closely together, has quietly formed a very formidable bond, to one another, as they quietly remind him of his people many centuries ago, and he quietly realized that bond still remains intactable as well. On the 15th of February, when another power vacuum within the Shadow Empire was created due to the disappearance of the Universal Heroes, who were quietly unseen and unknown and fighting another sinister, powerful force of evil on the other side of the universe, which they were quietly battling off. Their disappearance created another power vacuum on the 15th of February, and this time the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders decided themselves to form their own formidable factions of themselves, while the others pledged allegiances and loyalty to the new Lord of Magic and to his newfound empire, while the others exactly continued to supply the ancient secret society groups of supervillains with more destructive and compatible technology, as the other ancient secret society groups of supervillains continued to supply them with more worlds and with more planets, and also with an army of powerful, formidable supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans that are mentally under their sole control as well, which was part of the deal and part of the pact they all made together with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders as well, for them to use this army to lay waste to the Phoenician hunters and to the other worlds and civilization of the intergalactic coalition of the Phoenician hunters as well in the process. On the 29th of February, Bradley exactly meditated on his secretive basis of operation with the little two crystals, as was able to exactly imagine his people living and thriving on the very beautiful lands that they were quietly ruling by, as many of them were completely happy and content that they were successfully free and very gladfully independent upon themselves before they were completely wiped out and exterminated. Bradley exactly imagined that life of his people before they were gladly completely exterminated, as a single tear came out from him on that very day, as he started to show signs of emotions on as well. On the 15th of March, the new Lord of Magic, known as Lord Jet, decided to place his organization and his secret society and his new Shadow Empire under the sole control of Lord Clay, making sure that Clay exactly follows the plan the way it was meant to go on, meaning the sole conquest and the destruction of the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans, and the Four Nation Hunters, and the Universal Heroes, and the Intergalactic Coalition, the United Heroes, must continue the way it was orchestrated and the way it was meant to go down. Despite this, Clay exactly reassured the new Lord of Magic that that's exactly what he's willing to intend to do. Bradley also reassured Jet that he'll make sure that Clay follows with everything else according to the plan, and that everything else will stick towards the plan the way it's intended to be. Despite that, the Dark Sisters also trust Bradley to make sure that Clay doesn't do anything that'll damage or ruin the long-term plan that they planned for the rest of the Sacred World and for the rest of sacred existence and for the rest of the Four Nation Hunters, meaning it must successfully go the way it was orchestrated, and that it cannot jeopardize their partnership with the Order of Justice that is quietly founded and led by Zuko as well, who is a partner of the Order of Power, and a partner to the new Lord of Magic known as Lord Jet as well, making sure that the two organizations and the society's plans stick the way they're supposed to. Jet exactly entrusted his organization's plans and the society's plans and the future plans and goals of the Order of Power and the Order of Justice's goals and plans, that they exactly take place the way it's supposed to be. Lord Bradley exactly reassured his master and lord that the plans will gladly exactly take place the way they meant to be, and that everything else will go accordingly the way it's supposed to be. Nevertheless, the Dark Sisters and the rest of the members of the Order of Power trust Bradley will actually try to reason with Clay to make sure that everything goes according to plan the way it's supposed to be before they can actually leave to their dark undetected ancestral realm to begin a full transformation of their power, to access their new powers and dark immortality, and to access the full power of their transformation to transform at will to becoming immortal and powerful ancient beings of themselves as well. On the 15th of April, Lord Clay and the other rest of the Portuguese completely invaded the Intergalactic Coalition's asteroid base, as Lord Clay began to exactly explain his motives and his plans and his goals for the organization to the representative of the Intergalactic Coalition. Bradley exactly told Clay that the plan still needs to continue the way it's supposed to be. Nevertheless, Bradley didn't realize that Clay's long-term hunger for destruction and for his ambition to continue to go out was nevertheless quietly controlled and untainted and uncontrollable, and also uncontrollable and untamed as well. Despite this, Bradley exactly told Clay that the plan isn't for them to destroy all these magical worlds and planets and civilization. Regardless, Clay pursued to showing the Four Nation Hunters the Four Nation Hunter elders and the United Heroes how far he's willing to destroy the sacred worlds and the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans and the Four Nation Hunter in a process. To do this, the dark and powerful magic users of the Dark Sisters, the ones who exactly remain by his side, who are the new generation of the original Dark Sisters, who are also the most powerful ones and the most immortal ones and beautiful ones, exactly activated the dark and powerful magical machine powered by dark magic and science with a powerful dark crystal in the middle center, which exactly demonstrates the power of dark magic and all its abilities, which began to destroy worlds and planets and civilization with one fell swoop. Regardless of the last, Bradley exactly told Clay that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes are completely aboard the asteroid base and are willing to liberate the Four Nation Hunters and the United Heroes from their control. Regardless, Bradley exactly decided to summon monsters from the other dark dimension known as spirit monsters who invaded statues, who invaded powerful, magical, ancient statues of dark ancient monsters who quietly invaded the sacred worlds, who quietly invaded the sacred worlds during ancient times in order to wipe out the Four Nation Hunters. You want to wipe out the Four Nation Hunters many years ago. The spirit monsters inhabited the statues, inhabited the bodies of the statues of the monsters, and exactly took control of them and fought up against the hero. Regardless of the last, the heroes quietly remained victorious as they were able trying to make the as they were able trying to make the as they able as they were able try as they were able as they totally head up to the central control of the asteroid base as Brackley told Clay that their plans exactly took place and that it's time for them to successfully retreat. Clay exactly agreed as the Dark Sisters opened up a portal to the other side and completely teleported themselves away. On the on the 15th of May, on the 15th of May, Lord Clay held up a video conference with the members, with the protégés of the organization, and Brackley was quietly present during out the video conference as Clay was successfully proud of the law of the Shadow Empire warlord in his job and his successful mission, stated to him that he's done a very successful job and a very grateful mission, meaning in other words, it should exactly add it to the organization and to society that everything else is going according to plan the way it's intended to be as well. And Clay was very reluctantly pleased. But due to Bradley's expression in the video conference, he was rather less unshakenly unhappy with the results of the destruction of the other worlds and planets as well. On the 29th of June, Lord Bradley exactly convened with the other dark druids and dark witches and dark faithful on a secretive, powerful ancient laboratory that's quietly underneath the ancient ruins of the ancient dark crystal temple that were quietly destroyed and ravaged by during the ancient times of the old wars and battle, where the dark druids and dark witches and dark faithful began to inform him of everything else that's been taking place of the incident, said to them that the galaxy is quietly in utter chaos and that destruction is still quietly reigning and that everything else is not successfully going according to plan the way it's supposed to be. Lord Bradley told the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful that he needs to do something that Clay won't be able to realize or quietly not unable to notice that might work in his favor. And he decided to tell the dark magic users to do something that might actually benefit the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Heroes in a process. And this is exactly what he told them to do. He told them to send a very, very, very classified tip, for them to act as very private, anonymous sources and tip, for the Universal Heroes and for the Intergalactic Coalition to attack the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and the rest of Clay's operatives and his forces in order to make sure that their plans don't successfully bear fruit. The Dark Druid began to question Bradley's true obligation and loyalty to Clay and to the New Lord of Magic. Bradley exactly told the Dark Magic users that his loyalty remains absolute and that his obligation remains absolute to Clay and to Jet as always, and his devotion will always be towards them. But this is for the greater good, as he told the Dark Magic users. Now he told them to complete the deed and to complete the message and to make sure it remains an anonymous tip-off and that no one has to know where it comes from or from anyone else. The dark magic users completely agreed, then that is exactly what they're willing to do as well. On the 15th of July, On the 15th of July, Brackley exactly was able to reconvene. Lord Brackley was able to reconvene with the members, with the proteges of the new Lord of Magic on another ancient crystal temple, where the Dark Sisters exactly told Clay everything else is proceeding according to plan the way it's supposed to be. Despite this, Clay was very successfully happy that the plan is gratefully taking place the way it needs to be and that everything else is going according to plan without any further interruptions or anything else being ruined or being destroyed from other side. Despite that, Brackley exactly showed his affection as he told Clay that everything else is definitely going according to plan the way it's supposed to be and it shall proceed the way it's intended to be as well. On the 29th of August, Brackley was able to reconvene with his followers, the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful, on another hidden base of operation, which was another laboratory, which was quietly hidden, full of dark magic orbs and powerful chemicals of shadow energy that are quietly hidden and kept in dark magic orbs and everything else in highly classified dark experiments, notation, and creatures and beings that are trapped in hibernation sleep of stasis pod, which are able to remain in hypersleep, in order for them to remain immortal, to come back to life in a very, very strong and revival, to come back strong and also in a revivable state, where they'll be very stronger and for extremely mortal. The dark magic users exactly were able to convene with Brackley and told them that the anonymous tip-off has been dispatched and that everything else has begun to take place. Regardless of the last, Brackley was very, very successfully happy and glad that everything else is slightly going to plan the way it's supposed to be. The Dark Witch told Brackley that the master and leader, Lord Jet, and the other members of the Order of Power about to return, and they're not very happy with how things went down, and they're not successfully very happy at all, and how that their plans have been jeopardized and have been ruined in the process, and that Zuko is not very pleased with how to see the organization's goals and plans have now been completely ruined and due to the interference of the Universal Heroes and of the United Heroes and of the World Heroes and of the Intergalactic Coalition. They are not very successfully happy with this. Brackley was not very quietly happy, but deep down he relishes in successful happiness, as well as he realized that everything else did exactly take place the way it was meant to be. On the 15th of September, Lord Jet completely returned, and the members of the Order of Power completely returned to the organization and to their rightful seat, as Lord Jet exactly described his anger, as Lord Jet exactly explained his anger and also his great disappointment to Clay and Brackley, to the proteges, as he told them that he was not successfully very happy with how things went down in his absence, as the members of the Order of Power, such as the Dark Sisters, were also very completely disappointed to one of their own sisters, as they told them that they hereby being depromoted and that they fully have to step down no matter what. Clay exactly told Jet that he was willing to do whatever it takes in order to make sure the plan successfully bears fruit. Jet exactly told Clay that he took it way too far this time and that he jeopardizes his future plans and also nearly jeopardizing his partnership with Zuko, which almost ended terribly. But nevertheless, Jet exactly told Clay that he will successfully repair the damage he has quietly created and that he will gladly take care of it himself. Him and the rest of his associates, the rest of all the other projects were quietly in collusion with Clay, are hereby also depromoted from their position. Regardless, Brackley was not successfully happy, as was Clay, as the other Dark Sisters, who are also members of the organization, were not successfully happy as well. On the 15th of October, the prejudice were quietly depromoted from the organization. All exactly came down when they all exactly convened on the where they actually convened on another volcanic island, on another volcano island in the secret crystal chambers, where they all exactly convene and they all discuss the terrible plans and also how they completely failed. Clay exactly told the proteges that it's time for them to form and reassemble the ancient group that he has formed many centuries ago, and it's time for them to actually put it to work, regardless of what exactly happened. The Dark Sisters agree that they will exactly side with Clay, and Brackley exactly shown his affection to Clay that he will gladly exactly remain by his side. And that what if, and then Brackley exactly told Clay what will exactly Jet will do to him if he finds that they would manage to gather here and reassemble the old ancient secret society group that exactly existed for many centuries ago. Clay exactly told Brackley that now that doesn't exactly matter. It's time for them to put their own plan into action, and that he's also the new Lord of Magic, and that he'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the plans of the Order of Death also successfully bears fruit as well in the long term. They all successfully agreed to that as well. On the 15th of November, the members of the Order of Death secretly convene on another ancient crystal temple where Brackley was quietly present as Clay exactly explains his plan and also his logical plan and also his long-term plan and goals to the members of the Order of Death, said to them that everything else must proceed according to plan, the way it's supposed to be, and it must go the way it's intended to be without any further interruptions or anything else that can Brackley exactly interrupt it. Brackley completely agreed with Clay and the other rest of the members of the Order of Death, meaning that everything must proceed according to plan, the way it's intended to be. Nothing else can perceivably exactly ruin it or destroy it from within. That everything must go according the way it's supposed to be. And this time, no mercy or no interference from the universal heroes who shall exactly take place. Deep down in Brackley's thought, he thought the universal heroes would be successfully to be used as pawns rather to have them wiped out or to be destroyed in the process. And he believed he found a powerful, perfect way in order to do that as well. On the 29th of December, Brackley secretly met up with a Four Nation Hunter member of the Intergalactic Coalition and exactly decided to share some valid information on the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders on their future plans and goals, and he decided to secretly supply them to him. The Four Nation Hunter exactly asked Brackley what's in it to him and what is he willing to gain from all of this. Brackley exactly told the Four Nation Hunter that he doesn't exactly have to worry what is he willing to gain or benefit from all of this. All that matters is that information needs to reach into the central headquarters of the Four Nation Hunter elders and leaders, and especially to the Universal Heroes and to the United Heroes, and that it must reach to them specifically, and it must be inside the grasp of the palm of their hands. That's all that matters. The rest will gladly take place on its own. The Four Nation Hunter agreed to that as he successfully departs from the secret shadows of the wall, as both of them exactly disappeared from the secret shadows of the wall and then never quietly seen again. On the 15th of January, Lord Clay exactly decided in order to reconvene with the members of the Order of Death in a different way, in a more different secretive, private, shadowy way, where they all exactly projected dark holographic holograms of themselves in order to conceal their identities, in order to obscure and conceal their identities from the operatives and from anyone else who might exactly see them from the next base of operation, which was quietly a dark and powerful crystal cave that's quietly hidden within the ruins of the Shuttle Clans, within the ruins of the Shuttle Clans next base, within the Shuttle Clans homeland, within the Shuttle Clans homelands, within the Shuttle Clans homeland as well, where the members of the Order of Death secretly reconvene in a dark holographic holograms where they all concealed their identities except their eyes were able to see one another. And Brackley was quietly present with the members of the Order of Death. Brackley exactly asked the members of the Order of Death is everything else successfully proceeding according to plan the way it's supposed to be. Clay exactly told the members of the Order of Death that they all must proceed with their given assignment and that they all must use their expertise and their talents and everything else. And he told even the newest members that everything else on this organization and on the organization and on the society, what is exactly given to do, and that its true purpose will remain the same, to creating chaos and destruction towards the sacred world and towards the sacred world and to the word and to the rest of the sacred universe, for them to remain the sole ruler for global world domination and for universal domination. to further the ultimate goals in the process. Regardless of the less, the other members of the Order of Death successfully agreed with Clay's plan and also intention as well, as Bradley was able to successfully agree with that as well. On the 15th of February, Bradley was able to attend a video conference held up by Clay as Clay completely praised the Shadow Empire warlord and commander and exactly told him that he has done a very much of a good job and a very much of a greater job than anything else, and then everything else must slightly proceed according to plan the way it's supposed to be, and that in return his organization will give him everything else he needs and all the limited resources as part of his new deal and agreement. Regardless of the less, the Shadow Empire warlord exactly told him that the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have decided to actually submit their loyalty to the new Lord of Magic known as Lord Clay, and to Lord Bradley, and to the members of the Order of Death, and to the rest of his ancient secret society, and in order for them to secretly continue supplying them with destructive and more compatible technology. And Clay was very reluctantly happy as he reassured the Shadow Empire warlord that he made the right choice as well. And Bradley completely relishes in a very sadistic smile as he was very happy to see that everything is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be as well. On the 15th of March, the members of the Order of Death reconvene again as they were being summoned by Lord Clay to attend another secret meeting on a very much of a darker crystal dark cave where they all projected dark holograms of themselves as well in order to conceal their identities and everything else from the operatives. And this time the other newest members were also seen, and the other more newest members were also seen, despite regardless of the other less. The other newest member asked Clay exactly what was the true intention and the purpose of the organization's goals and mission. Clay exactly explained the organization's goals and purpose and mission and philosophy to the newest members, as Clay was able to summon the ancient monster statue behind the members who were secretly convening, as they all exactly took position by the monster statues and hands, and they all exactly begin to bind their hands together in order to summon an ancient mythical dark creature from the monster statue's mouth, where they conducted a powerful dark magic ritual. And Bradley was quite completely part of the dark magic ritual. He was able to exactly conceal his identity as well within the dark holograms as they proceeded with the dark magical rituals by exactly utilizing the monster's powers and his abilities, as Clay exactly demonstrated to the newest members of the Order of Death, and also to the old members of the Order of Death, as he told them that the organization's plans are finally beginning to take place and that their long-term plans will successfully bear fruit as well. And Bradley was successfully happy and very glad, as he was quietly and silent as he kept to himself, as he listened to the other newest members and to the old members who were also quietly silent, as Clay exactly told them that their purpose and goal and mission is to create chaos, destruction, and in order for them to rule from that chaos, and that destruction is for them to remain the sole dominant rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of sacred existence and of the sacred world, regardless of the obstacles and everything else, as Clay told the newest members of the organization and of the secret society to never underestimate the Universal Hero's ability or the United Heroes' abilities as well. They all successfully agreed on that as well. After 2 years, the members of the Order of Death have successfully reconvened on their last meeting in order to discuss how to further their plans and everything else. They were exactly summoned again by Clay on another secluded dark crystal cave, this time in the dark holographic modes on the 15th of July, and Bradley was completely present throughout the meeting as well. As this time Clay exactly told them that there's been a change of plan is for them in order for them to in order to remain low, and also to keep their eyes and ears quietly open in order for them to make sure that the organization remains a shadowy and a powerful, formidable secret society that operates within the shadows of the sacred world, and that their true competition is exactly the Universal Prince and the Star Prince and the new ruler of magic known as Lord Jet. Regardless of the last, Braggley exactly stated that the Universal Heroes can be used as pawns rather than to destroy them. One of the Dark Sisters completely agreed with Braggley that the Universal Heroes have proven to be worthy pawns rather to actually destroy them in order to have them actually annihilated when they can actually be useful in order to further their long-term plans in the goal. Regardless of the last, Clay agreed that it's time for them not to take drastic measures or actions yet, but in order for them to do so, they have to keep their eyes in the prize and have to fulfill the organization's goals and mission, meaning hunting down any bounty hunter that the sacred nations or the Shadow Empire have easily managed to bestow upon them. They need to take the job and they need to strip out the sacred nation and the four nation hunters out of their businesses, which will make the sacred world highly independent on the order of death. That in doing so will strip out the shadow that intentionally will strip out the Shadow Empire's finances, will strip out the Shadow Empire's finances, and also strip out the Dark Star's finances, and also financial connection to the sacred underworld, and it'll also make the other sacred alien criminals and superhumans and supernaturals reluctantly dependent on them, and they'll able to use that dependent and those funds in order to power up the Order of Death in full secrecy. And Braggley agreed with Clay, then that is exactly the true plan that they should exactly proceed with. On the 20th of August, Braggley was able to meet up with the dark magic users and dark witches and dark faithful and dark druids on another secluded laboratory, this time in his dark hologram projection, as he exactly told them everything else is steadily beginning to take place and now things are about to take a turn. All they have to do is keep doing what they're doing and make sure that everything takes place the way it's supposed to be. They all successfully agreed to their leader, and that it will gladly exactly do so as well. On the 29th of September, Braggley exactly met up with one of the Universal heroes, such as Warboy, on his actual home, where Warboy exactly told Braggley what he's exactly doing here. Braggley exactly told Warboy that he's such a kind-hearted person and he will never exactly harm the Universal heroes or hurt them. In a matter of fact, Braggley exactly told Warboy that he shares the same goals as they do, but despite that, his devotion and his loyalty solely belongs to Clay and to the organization. But he told Warboy that he's willing to provide him with inaccessible, powerful, top secret intelligence and information in return, as long as he promises that he won't rat him out or exactly say his name to the rest of his colleagues. Warboy completely agreed to the terms. What is he willing to benefit from all of this? Braggley exactly told Warboy that all he cares about is protecting and saving the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans and the four nation hunters and the rest of humanity from being exterminated and from being annihilated. And if the Universal heroes can gladly do that, he will be more than gladly and welcome to act as a secretive ally and as a secretive anonymous tip-off. Warboy was able to put together the clues that Braggley was the anonymous tip-off. Despite that, Warboy was completely very successfully happy that Braggley decided to come clean about his recent actions in the following years, and Warboy decided in order to accept Braggley's condition, as Braggley accepts Warboy's condition and decided that he will remain as a top secretive ally. And Warboy wanted to make sure that Braggley is exactly screwing around or playing with them, this will backfire to him straight into his face. Braggley exactly stated to Warboy that all he cares about is saving humanity and the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the sacred universe and the known universe from the dangerous and most powerful forces of evil, even if he is one of them exactly. After that, Braggley completely teleported himself and completely disappeared, and Warboy exactly decided to agree to the terms and to the deal as well. Braggley was able to reconvene with the dark magic users and dark druids on another dark crystal temple on the 15th of September, where he actually told them that there's been a change of plans and that everything else will go the way it's intended to be. his followers successfully agreed that they'll follow him in whatever direction he wants to exactly take. Good. And Brackley exactly told them that this time, this is what the plan needs to exactly look like. And he told them that they have to orchestrate it the way it was meant to be orchestrated by, in order to further the future plans of the order of death and the future plans of the order of power and of the order of justice, in a process for them to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos that will soon benefit the universal heroes and the intergalactic coalition and strip out the universal prince and the star prince out of power permanently. The dark magic users agreed what exactly is the plan, and Brackley exactly began to tell them exactly what the steps of the plan and how the phase of the actual plan would likely work. And he began to explain to them. Despite this, guys, Lord Brackley is extremely beautiful, gratefully intelligent, and very beautiful and extremely immortal. Very skilled in a dark arts, in dark magic, in teleportation, opening portals, in hand-to-hand combat, in dark combated magic, in dark combated hand-to-hand combat magic fights and battles, and also in mind controlling telekinesis, and also in mind controlling projection, astral projection, creating dark holographic holograms of himself as well. Very skillful, very mindful, and very intelligent, and very loyal and committed and devoted member of the Order of Death, who maintains his cover, and very compassionate, very compassionate, and very driven by his compassion to protecting his people and also to serving the new Lord of Magic. He believes in his goals, in the goals of the original and in the new Lord of Magic, and as well in Lord Clay's goals and mission to wipe out and exterminate the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans. And he also believes in Clay's goals and mission to creating chaos and destruction so that they can also rule from that chaos and became and remain the sole rulers of the cosmos. And he's willing to make sure that those plans successfully bear fruit. He's extremely strategic and a very wiser tactician, very skillful in swordsmanship, super strength, super speed, super hearing, and also very adaptable in sensing powerful magical heroes, very skilled in converging magic and dark magic, very skilled in fusing himself with shadow energy, very skillful in manipulation, in manipulating dark magical orbs, and also in dark projections, in dark projection. And he also shares a powerful, formidable bond and a link towards Rick, and towards Warboy, which he quietly views them as brothers. And he also shows to have shown a side of great good, of great compassion, despite him being driven off by power and darkness and lust for power. Nevertheless, he controls himself in order to wanting more power and more darkness, powers, and ability. And he's also a very determined researcher, and a very determined dark magical researcher who's been researching a very ancient conspiracy of the King of Darkness with the Fallen and with the original Lord of Magic, with Valak, Hellfire, and with Zekanus Darkus, who've been secretly in collusion with one another, despite each of these ancient threats being born in different times and in different ages of the sacred world's history. They still were able to remain in collusion with one another. Brackley was able to also research more about how they were able to remain in collusion with one another, despite none of them were able to see each other face to face, or how they were able to send messages, or how they were able to send messages to one another, or able to exactly know one another's existence, even if they were all born in a different century and in a different time. Regardless of the less, Brackley decided to conceal that information for himself in order to know and understand the full scope of the sacred conspiracy that he manages to discover. Regardless of the less, he values life. And he's willing to protect it. He's willing to protect and he's willing to preserve it by any means necessary. He's very mindful, very loyal, very patient, and very grateful. He has a group of powerful, loyal, dark magic users, followers who follow him in every turn, who gratefully believe in him, known as the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, and the Dark Faithful, who gratefully serve him with greatness and with true humility. And great Lord Brackley leads them with great authority and with great kindness. He always projects a powerful dark holographic hologram of himself to his followers in order for him to conceal his identity. Regardless of the last, he's very committed to them, and they are also very loyal to them as well. He maintains his usual bases of operation as well as his central headquarters as his powerful dark elaborate crystal dark temple that's quietly within the sacred magic universe, as well as its other bases of operation, such as its ancient, powerful laboratory caves and magical halls where you can easily practice his dark magical abilities and powers and greater abilities and powers at will. Nevertheless, he's very well controlled of his powers and his dark magical powers and his ability, very skillful in the dark magical dark arts, and very wise and very organized and very thoughtful and very kind and very smart and incredibly intelligent, and also very much ambitious, not meant to be underestimated. Very loyal to his brothers and also to the organization's goals and obligation and mission of the Order of Death and of the Order of Power and of the Order of Justice, which he heavily believes in, and as well as he believes in the universal heroes. He took a page out of the most powerful dark druid known as Shen, who was also a very loyal left hand man of the no loyal right hand man of the Lord of Magic, of the original Lord of Magic many centuries ago, who acted as a double agent to the Universal Heroes and to the Intergalactic Coalition and to the original Lord of Magic many years ago, and also during the Sacred Galactic War, which he learns from him as well. Despite this, he's very smart, incredibly intelligent, very skillful, very mindful, and very thoughtful, and very wise, and not a fool, and not someone who can easily make a fool of, and very incredibly intelligent, resourceful, and very wise. A high-ranking member of the Order of Death, which he believes in the organization's goals, philosophy, purpose, and mission as well. Well, guys, that's it today. That's it today for today's episode. I'll actually see you tomorrow. As you can see, guys, the weather is simply so cloudy and very much quietly sunny. You never know exactly how this weather is so unpredictable. But regardless of that, guys, I'm very grateful for your support in watching and viewing my episodes from TikTok and from Shorts and from YouTube as well, and from long videos. Keep doing so. Please like and subscribe for my YouTube channel. It will gratefully mean a lot to me. But regardless of that, may God bless you all. I'm very grateful for your support, and have a wonderful, blessed afternoon and an evening and a day. I will see you tomorrow. Love you all. Take care. Bye. Bye. Bye.